I just poured ammonia. It's not. We don't just have rags out on the porch, but that keeps the snake away.
Yeah, there's a big old black snake out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one time, 2 minutes before we were on the air. Is it time now?
We're on.
Okay. Y'all tell me when it's 12 o'clock noon. Come on over here, Tony.
I'm coming.
Okay. Put him here.
Are we on?
We're on now.
Well,
Hey. He went on now quicker than I thought he was.
Hello, everybody. I'm not your son.
No, this is not Beaver, but he's here. Hey, everybody, this is Jeanne Robertson, and welcome to my back porch once again. This is the program that I said, in the middle of March I would do until the COVID was over. I was thinking 4 or 5 weeks. This is 17, and we are having a ball. This is Tony, my assistant of 42 years. Y'all all know her. You want to give them some information?
Just a little bit. The books, if you've ordered a book, it is on its way. If you haven't gotten it, it is on its way. Mail is a little slower these days, but it'll be there. If it's not there, definitely email me because the post office has lost a few along the way and returned some to us. And takes a while for that to happen. So we'll be glad to resend you a book if you haven't gotten yours in due time.
But you are leaving town.
Right. Now, Jeannie plans to give away a couple of books this afternoon during the show. If you win, you need to get to me. Get an email to me or call the number that's on, you give that this afternoon so we can get it ready because tomorrow morning early, we are leaving for the beach for a week. And so your order, if you get it in today, we'll get it in the mail by Monday. Otherwise, it'll be another week before they go in the mail.
You're going to get them all packaged up.
We're going to get them up.
Everything that they need.
Right.
And then you're going to leave them here, and somebody's coming.
Somebody's going to take them and get them in the mail Monday at the post office. So no problem with that if they're in today. But other than that, there'll be another week. You'll still get it, but it'll take it a week.
You deserve a vacation.
I absolutely do.
But when you come back, I hope they're all packed up. Yeah. And if you order during the week, you'll ship them in the order they came.
Right, and those will just continue. You can continue to order, and I will see them. And if you have a question, I'll respond. I'll be answering emails and all that. I just won't physically be here to send the books out until the next week, which will be like July, the week of the 20th of July. Okay,
we got it.
I think that's
I'm going to let a bigger person come and sit in the chair because we've had all sorts of guests, and now I want y'all to meet my little boys. My little boy, Beaver. Beaver, come on in. Have a seat. Beaver has come up from, has come up from Cumming, Georgia to answer your questions. And I don't think we've had anybody. Jane Tucker came up from Savannah. Y'all loved her set questions. We've had Norma Rose here, and she pops in just any time. But she and I are going on an excursion too late this afternoon, so she's getting ready for that. And we've had a lot of other people, but more questions have come in for Beaver. And a lot of them want to know where you got your name.
Yeah.
So I would say half of them want to know where you got your name.
Right.
Where do you think you got it?
Most people think that it's from Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's from a show that's older than that, right? Red Ryder. And he had a sidekick named Little Beaver.
Little Beaver.
And so that's where it comes from.
And some people say, I don't want to steal anybody's thunder from their question, but do you use this now that you're grown?
I do.
Okay.
It's stuck with me, and even
like
my business associates call me that. And so yeah, that's what I go by.
All right, here's the situation.
Okay.
You have been. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You use bad language sometimes.
Every once in a while.
I knew it, and I could hear y'all out on that basketball court when you were growing up, out there playing. So what I have, where did you take my horn? I had a horn. The horn is gone. You took the horn.
I would never take your
Patrick,
horn.
look around and said, I was going, wait a minute, maybe you put it in here.
Are you sitting on the horn? You know it.
I
would hope you know that.
No, we would hear it.
You know.
Well, I'll be darned. I planned this all week. It was a horn that if you started using bad language, why don't I just hit you?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make the commitment to use good language.
Okay.
Just, for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30-minute
but we're
increments.
going to be here longer, so
Okay.
do the best you can.
All right.
Okay, and I would help you. All right, this is random people, and the only questions in the bucket are going to go around you, except I think there's one lady that wrote something that I want to read to everybody, so I'm just pulling them out.
Okay.
Okay, Beaver, and you don't have to talk a long time. You can just answer the question.
Okay.
Okay, this is Janet King Showy, and she put how we would say it, Showy. Jeannie, I want to know, does Beaver find humor in everyday situations like his mama?
I try to. I don't necessarily handle bad situations as well as she does.
Oh, come on.
But I don't. But, yeah. Generally speaking, I do try to find
the humor
in situations.
Okay, here we go. Let me just ask this.
The horn's been located.
The horn has been located.
So,
you say a bad word?
All right. But now, if you're going to do that, you have been known, of course, to stretch the truth.
No.
Yeah, to exaggerate from time to time.
I don't think so.
So I broke out the truth chicken.
Oh, okay.
So if you start getting a little weird on us, I'm throwing that at you.
Okay, well,
understand.
Get ready.
All right.
I just don't want people to have a heart attack like anybody who's had a son is probably. We all know that left brain is cheap, or we'll say practical, when it came to your mom's gifts. Like we limited it to $5 and $10 and everything. Is he that way with yours?
I would say no.
I would too. He gave you everything you ever wanted.
Yeah, he did, except the red Porch.
The red Porch. You never got that.
Yeah, he did. He did not spare any expense with me.
With you. And I would leave town, and they would go shopping.
Yeah.
So no, but on me, no, he didn't want to do it. All right, here you go. Okay, this person says, I can't think of anything bad that Beaver has ever said or did. Is this the quote you wanted me to use, Beaver? And you're not going to believe who this is from. Your teacher.
My sixth grade teacher,
Mrs. Hyman. Don't you remember Miss Hyman?
Your $5 is in the mail.
Okay.
That I told you that the other day.
And then, should I tell them about what happened in the 8th grade?
Oh, yeah.
So, since we're on bad language.
Yeah.
So, in the 8th grade, all of a sudden one day, Beaver was not coming home. He was having to stay late every day. He was staying in. And what had happened is, I said, finally I got to the bottom of it. What's going on? And he said, well, a girl in the class, 8th grade, junior high girl, heard me say, she heard me say a 4-letter word that starts with S and has an H in it. Mm-hmm. But the teacher did not hear me say it.
Right.
She went to the teacher and said, I heard Beaver say blank. Mm-hmm. And the teacher, if I had been the teacher, I would have said, you sit down. I'll mind Beaver's business if I need to, and you mind your own business. But the teacher called you up and said, had you said that? You said you did.
Yeah.
And she kept you in school for 5 days.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I just couldn't help myself. Tony, do you remember Joe McSherry? Joe McSherry was an assistant to a speaker named Joe Griffith. And she sent me a tablet. She thought it was so funny. This was way before this happened. And the top of the tablet said, they say a woman's place is in the home. Well, here I am traveling all the time. And then at the bottom it says, they can kiss that. And it used the same word that used goodbye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had never used that tablet because who am I going to write with that tablet?
Right.
But I pulled that, so I pulled that tablet out and I said, Mrs. So-and-so, I know who she is, that she's passed away. I said, I understand that Beaver is staying in every day this week for school for using bad language in the classroom. Now I'm writing this out on that tablet.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know where he heard something like that. I mean, have you ever heard left brain never said it. He never said, I've never heard him say. And you didn't hear me say, I said, I don't know where he heard a word like that, but I can assure you we will talk to him. And then at the bottom of the paper, of course, it had, they can kiss that and use that word goodbye. Yeah. And I folded it and I licked it shut and I said, don't open it. Give it to your teacher. I didn't know if she had a sense of humor or not.
Right.
So when you came home, I said, did you give the note to your teacher? Yeah. And you said, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what did she do? She said, well, she opened the note and she read it and folded it back and smiled and put it in her purse.
Yeah.
So I knew it didn't really offend her.
No.
So we're off of the bad language things. Okay, here's the smiley face. All right, let's see what this one is. This is Mary Perot Chester.
Oh, we know her.
You do?
Yep.
She grew up right around
Yeah, she's Burlington.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Okay, then this explains this. I remember being 9 years old when Beaver and Tony were thrown out of their beach house at Myrtle Beach. Do you remember that?
Tony being her brother.
Okay.
And,
Tony Perot.
I remember being thrown out of several beach houses.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that would have been around 82. That would be the 82 house.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I just wanted to know. I remember thinking Beaver was the funniest person I had ever heard until I started listening to your shows.
Well,
I know. Two different types.
You were doing so well,
I know.
and then you finished. Yeah.
I know. Okay. Here's another question. Patricia Clapp. You know Patricia Clapp. Question for Beaver. Since your mom, that would be I,
Right.
doesn't cook, what was your favorite meal as a young boy?
Okay. Well, Jerry, Left Brain, and I, of course, were microwave guys, So I'd say
The microwave was just big.
That was the big one, the big spaceship that we had. Yeah. So anything by Stouffer's, pizza, Wendy's. It wasn't a healthy lifestyle.
Notice I never asked.
No. You just
came
assumed
in.
we were fed,
I know.
and that's fine. But no, Jerry and I did well, Jerry. But I will say, you used to make breakfast when you were here.
I did breakfast.
Jerry, but it was the same breakfast every time.
It was.
Yeah,
It
like
was.
we were kind of happy to see you go because we were tired of.
You went to Skids.
Right.
You went to,
Yeah.
But I did ham.
You did country ham
and pulled out a frozen biscuit. What do you want? What do you really want?
Yeah. No, I mean that was it was adequate. It was good.
And I tell you, it's hard. Can y'all get a full view of Beaver? It's hard to think that this child didn't eat.
No, I did not miss any meals.
He's 6'8" and he is a big person.
Yeah.
So okay, no, you didn't. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I know it. Okay. How long? Oh, this is to me. How long were you in labor with Beaver?
I'd say about 54 years.
54 years.
I hadn't seen that one.
54 years. How old are you?
Yeah, 54. Yeah.
Okay. It was a long labor. You just got to trust me. It was a long labor.
Yeah.
See, I'm putting all you so you can win the book if it goes in there. Okay. Here's another question. Judy, wait a minute. I don't know. Did I give you the name of the person who asked that? Doreen Vines. Doreen
Vines.
How long are you in labor with Beaver? Okay, 54 years. Okay, Judy Franks Markle Dreyer. God,
That's a lot of names.
Beaver, what is something about your mom that we might be surprised that we don't know?
Oh, man.
This would be like a compliment.
Well, she went through a little magician phase.
Oh, no, don't tell that.
And I was concerned that her career was going to go right off the cliff.
Terrible.
But yeah, she was like pulling rabbits out of hats, and she even got Gray, my son, into magic. And then I explained to him, look around and tell me how many successful magicians you see.
Well.
So we, thankfully, you're a magician. But that lasted about a year.
Well, what happened was, I thought, well, this would be cute.
Yeah.
I could add this to forgetting that audiences can't see the tricks. We didn't have iMag or anything, and they were all just pitiful tricks.
Yeah.
But I was emceeing the Alabama Junior Miss pageant, and I had long sleeve the orange dress, Tony, that I still have, that you call the Great Pumpkin dress.
Yes.
And the sleeves came down to here. And the opening song was da-da-da-da-da-da, boom. What's that song? Dum-da-dum-da-dum, boom.
Oh, that one.
The black hats and little tuxedos, and it was a show business song. I bet somebody will write it in and tell you. And I had hidden, it's not magic, it was some, I had hidden in my sleeve papers that you would light up and then throw them in the air.
I remember that.
And they would disappear.
Yeah.
And so I was the MC, and what I was supposed to do is come out and it's a something, somebody's going to write it in. And I would pull it out, and I had a little match, and throw the fire up. And then about the 5th piece of paper, I caught my sleeve on fire.
I remember that. Yeah.
Burned the sleeve off.
And I thought that might be the moment when it ended, right?
That was when I thought maybe the magic was.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. What is that song?
I got it.
Somebody don't
They're
think that.
saying cabaret and
Yes.
Porch line, but I don't know that that's the name.
No, but I think it was from that. They'll get somebody will come up with it.
Did you give the name?
Yes, I gave her
Okay.
name.
Okay.
I'm trying to do. She had 4 names.
That's right. 4 names.
4 names. All right, here we go. Char Franco.
Okay.
What type of job do you currently have? Do you have a job?
I am gainfully employed currently. Yep.
Do you have right now? And are you right or left-brain influenced? Let's talk on the job first.
I own a window company, a window manufacturing company, and I've been doing that now for 26 years. So that's where I go every day. And they still let me come in there and pay me. So.
And where is Gray working this summer?
Gray, my oldest son, or youngest son, I'm sorry, is working full time right now for us this summer and doing a great job. And
as well as 5 others of his friends, because these guys are in college.
Yeah, so they all go back. We all lose them in about 3 or 4 weeks, and they'll be missed. They do a great job for us. So they do.
All right, what about this? Would you say that you are influenced to be right-brained or left-brained?
I'm so far right.
I know.
It's not even funny.
I knew that.
Yeah.
You just imagine growing up in the house. I was the one growing up.
Yeah.
And you got this person that's so far to the right that it's unbelievable. We had a good time.
We did.
And then you have left-brain who's so far to the left.
Yeah.
But y'all got a long fight. It was that was just went into orbit.
He was just bewildered a lot.
I know, he was bewildered a lot. He said he would do this. I can't believe he did that.
Yeah.
I can't believe. We love left-brain. All right, more questions. Here we go. This one is Betty, Betti, Groschchop, and Vincent Milano. That is the way. Well, how would you say that name? Betty.
I'd go with Betty Groschchop and Vincent Milano.
Okay.
That's exactly how I roll with it.
Why not? Yep. Okay. Growing up, were you embarrassed having had a mother who was in the Miss America pageant?
Was I embarrassed?
No.
I was definitely not embarrassed. I took a lot of pride in that. Well, I did. Yeah. So.
What did embarrass you?
Thanks a lot, Patrick. You would have been more proud if I'd won, but no one has milked losing this much.
Nobody has gotten more out of losing a beauty pageant than you. I would say that, but no, I took that as a source of pride. Always. Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember the time you came home? We just moved to Burlington. It was 45 or 50 years ago. You came home and said that one of the guys in your class mother was a Miss America.
Yeah.
Oh, and you all excited about it. And I said, in Burlington? And Graham, I grew up in Graham 2 miles away. And I said, in this county, she was a Miss America? I said, I don't know them all, but I bet I know her or know who she is. Find out about it. And it was like, I didn't believe you. It was like, well, how do I know which one? You asked. You just asked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Came home the next day, and I said, did you find anything out about the Miss America? And you said, well, do you remember what you said?
I said she was Miss North Carolina.
She was Miss North Carolina.
Right, yeah.
You were wrong. She was Miss North Carolina. And since they have a luncheon for all the former Miss North Carolinas every year, and I like to go because it's a good time, and I see people, I know the Miss North Carolinas. And I said, there's a Miss North Carolina living here in Alamance County. Who? I know them all. And he said, you don't believe me. You know, you were a teenager. Yeah. You don't believe me. You didn't believe me yesterday. Well, you were wrong.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe me today either. And I said, I'm just asking. Mm-hmm. Find out her name. I'd like to call her. We can do lunch.
Yep.
The next day you came home and you didn't bring it up. Finally, I said, did you find out who that? She wasn't Miss North Carolina. She was homecoming queen.
Yeah.
I said, what? Prom queen, 8th grade queen, 4th grade queen. Oh, you were upset. So that, no, I'm glad you weren't embarrassed about it. I had a ball.
Yeah.
I milked it for what it was worth.
Absolutely. Still milking.
I know, definitely. Linda Harris.
Okay.
How old was Beaver when you went full-time speaking? And how did you manage him while you were gone? Okay, let me explain to you about the word manage Beaver.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever managed Beaver.
No.
No, I don't manage. I did never manage you.
No.
But I left right. I got on the road and he took care of you.
That's right.
That was the way it is. And so when I went in full-time speaking, when were you born?
I was born in 1966.
Okay, I went in full-time in 76. I think it was when we moved in here, and I had been teaching. And you don't have to have a spouse to be someone who travels all the time, but if you have one, they have got to be supportive. And Left Brain even said, you love teaching, you're good at it, but why don't you just give speaking a shot? So when we moved to Burlington, I went into it full time.
Yeah.
So you would have been 10.
Yeah.
10 years old. You just thought it was good because I was gone.
Yeah, it worked out well. I mean, I could get in all kinds of mischief.
You did, and you did, but nobody, we didn't manage Beaver. It was just one of those things. All right, here's another question. What time is it? We're going to be the Patrick, get out your guitar, okay? All right. Lee Taylor. Okay, this is a question for you. Since your mother has been traveling a lot, I would guess most of your life, and I was traveling part-time before you were 10. I just decided to go full-time, but I'm going to put you on my hip and go on. I guess you would say, what has your relationship been like with Left Brain? Do you play basketball, golf, badminton together? And of course, this silly question, who does the cooking when she's gone?
Yeah, well, we eat out, and that was the play. Yeah, no, I mean, he taught me how to play basketball. Of course, he played at Duke, and we did a lot of that, and we did a lot of going to basketball games and working out, and I mean, we did all kinds of sports. We played golf. I never did play badminton with him.
No, you couldn't have played badminton.
No, he was really good at that.
Yeah.
And then he got into pickleball, which I never did quite get into, but I know that's a thing. It's a thing. So
I'll tell you an interesting thing in our family. Looking back, and I will see if you know if there was something that it was happening and someone in the family was very upset. That would have probably been I. Would that be? Yeah. Do you want to tell us today about the 2 report cards you had in the 9th grade? Didn't you have 2 report cards in the 9th grade?
Oh, I had 2 stacks of report cards in the 9th grade. You talking about the blank report cards? No, I had 2 stacks of report cards. You thought I had 2 report cards, but I stumbled across a cache of blank report cards early in the 9th grade year, and I realized that I had basically hit the lottery. And so
I did not know.
So I would get my C's and D's, and then I would fill it. And of course, I filled it out with all A's because, I wanted it to be a really good Christmas. So
he wanted you to be proud.
Yeah, I wanted you to be proud just once. I want them to be proud of my grades.
And we learned a valuable lesson. This is not the way I thought this happened.
Oh no. Well, of course it's not.
Are you serious?
You're grounded.
Yeah.
I thought you had 2 report cards because we made the mistake of saying, if you make all A's, we'll give you a party at Christmas.
That's correct. And that was a heck of a party.
I know.
But yeah, because that was back in the day when they gave the report cards to us, we took them home, the parents signed them and brought them back.
That's right.
So I would put the all A report card in there and forge your signature and go back, and we did that all year until Miss Green, who's still on the list, called you in the spring and said I was flunking geometry, and you were like, "Well, that's not possible. He's made all A's."
No, I said it's a little. If you don't mind my saying so, it's a little late for you to be calling me that he's flunking geometry when he's made all A's all year.
Yeah, and
then it was like,
there was
hello,
a pregnant silence.
Hello, there was a pregnant.
And I'm in the next room listening, thinking I'm about to die.
I know,
but it was a heck of a run.
So you mean other kids were doing this too?
I sold blank report cards. I had a nice little cottage industry going here. I sold blank report cards for $10 a pop.
And all that time when the story came out, I was embarrassed because you had done that.
Right.
And all the rest of these parents that were saying, I can't believe Beaver had 2 report cards. They had the same.
There were plenty of other kids getting away with it. Yeah, it was a racket. But, the house of cards came tumbling down. The house of report cards.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
This is interesting. We can just end this program right now. I've gotten some things that I really wanted to do. That's amazing. But here was left brain's punishment. I said, you'll not go out of the house all summer.
Yeah.
I mean, which is so ridiculous. You will not leave the house all summer. Of course, you would.
You will not leave the house. You will not watch TV.
But we had something we wanted you to do.
That's right.
What do you think?
So every day, the entire summer, I had to memorize 10 words from the SAT verbal section, and Left Brain would test me every night. It was not a great summer for me.
No, but Left Brain was saying the thing is that his punishment should make him better. And you've always known a lot of words.
Yeah. I did well on that part of the SAT.
All right, let's give away a book. What are you saying? Let's give away a book. All right, I'm going to put this name in here. I'm mixing up this whole box right here. And now when you win, I want to say you have to be present to win. But what, if you will, email Tony immediately, the 800 number, or just do something so she can get your book off to you. That'd be great. Now remember, this is the book with the uncorrected book. And we asked y'all to correct it because we thought it would make the Left Brain people so happy. And boy, did y'all send in some good ones. All right, I'm going to pull one out. And this box right here, if you can see it, this box is full. And the first book today goes to Phyllis Marie Stewart. Phyllis Marie Stewart. Wait, listen. You can hear her. So excited.
I hear her.
I hear her.
Yep.
She's so excited. Okay. And we're going to put this down here, Tony.
STEWART.
Phyllis Marie Stewart, you've won a book.
Way to go.
Okay, way to go, way to go. All right, we got some more, and we've got one other thing that you're going to really enjoy. Let me ask this question and see. Are y'all liking this? Is anybody listening? Oh. Okay. All right. Will you ever come back again? No.
I will be back.
Okay. Pam Johnson.
Okay.
How on earth did you manage to go 29 years before bringing up the red Porsche? You are a much better woman than I.
Yep.
For those who don't know, the red Porsche story happened, and it was a funny story. And our friends at dinner parties would say, tell us about that time Beaver lost his car.
Yep.
Not in a poker game. He didn't remember where he put the car.
No.
And
Still don't.
Still don't.
No.
And a bunch of boys were with him and everything. And so, but I didn't have a punchline. I did not have a punchline until years later. The phone rang one day in the summer, and Beaver said, Mom, I need some advice. It was like, oh, he's right. He wants advice from me. Yeah. He said, Ryder's coming to Elon. And he's a good boy. And he doesn't give us any trouble. He wants to bring this piece of a car. And I just don't think he's mature enough to have a car in college. I reached down into my mother's never forget bag, pulled it out and said, I think that, you remember what I said?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all about the red Porsche.
Yep.
I guess this means there's no red Porsche.
Yep.
And Beaver said, I can't believe you remembered that.
Right.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the story is called A Mother's Revenge, because I did get even.
Yeah.
And that's the favorite story I can tell, because so many people who have written this week and say that's my favorite story.
People bring it up every day.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how many other people just lost a car.
The thing about the red Porsche is I can't even fit in a red Porsche.
I know it. I
mean, I'd have to take the sunroof off just to drive it.
Straddle it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have figured a way out to do it, but yeah.
All right, here's a question for me. All the places that you go, okay, Where do you go the most? This might lead into a song that you sing. Sherry Harris out in Branson, Missouri.
I love Sherry.
So I love Sherry
We love
too.
Sherry.
And Sherry's goddaughter is coming to Elon.
That's right.
Hopefully this month. I hope everything's gonna go, and I think it is because we're big Elon supporters. But which state do you think I speak in the most?
Denial.
I would say, I'd say North Carolina.
I'm over my 57-year career now.
Mm-hmm.
What is today? The 11th?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a tough.
So it'll
one.
be 57 years tomorrow since I started speaking.
Okay.
So I would say definitely North Carolina most because that was 500 the first year that I did in North Carolina. Texas.
Really?
Texas is number one. It's a very big state.
It is a large state.
It's a large state.
Yeah.
And then Florida. Lots of people my age bracket in Florida.
Right. You got the villages down there.
Got all those people. They're all over.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, I know sometimes we let you tell stories and all that, but I want you to sing a song that you've written that you might not have. I know one of these questions in here says, who's your favorite country music fan?
That's
Who is
right.
it? Who is
Hank
it?
Williams Jr. is my favorite country music
Star.
Yeah, star. Yeah.
Not Patrick.
Patrick's a close second.
A close.
It's a close second.
All right,
You
Patrick,
can join my mother in her Bible study.
Yeah.
Come over here and sing this song. This is a good one.
Am I getting
He
up?
wrote it.
What
No,
am
you
I?
just sit there.
I just sit here?
Yeah.
I'd like a water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And some green M&Ms.
Oh, no.
That's my rider. Yeah.
Well, this is the first time we've ever sang like this where we didn't have cocktails in front of us.
That needs to change.
No, I'm glad to be once again on the show. I want to sing a song about Texas. Texas is one of my favorite states. My grandparents lived there. I spent all my summers out in Texas. So I wrote this song called Texas Got the Better Part of Me. But Tony, you're going to have to be quiet when I sing. She's going to keep on talking, isn't she?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out the name of that song.
We are live. You know that, right? Well, she says that she wants a man from Texas. A real cowboy is what he's got to be. She says that she wants a man from Texas that don't leave much for this boy from Tennessee. Well, I left my heart one night in Amarillo, and San Antonio took too much of my time. I left 2 teeth in a barroom back in Beaumont. Houston's where I lost my mind. May not be from Texas, heck, I come from Tennessee. Texas got the better part of me. May not be from Texas, I'm a man from Tennessee. Texas got the better part of me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, now my question to you, Beaver, is why didn't you learn to play a musical instrument? That whole thing. I wanted you to play a musical instrument.
You obviously never seen me on the bongos.
Oh, no, I have not.
No?
Oh, I didn't know you had any bongos. I thought you were tap dancing up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it was strictly bongos.
All right, here's a question. Thanks, Patrick. I like that song.
I forgot the second verse. But
Oh,
I'll get it
that's
next
okay.
time.
All right. What is the most embarrassing? This is Renee Drager, Drager.
Okay.
What is the most embarrassing story your mom has ever told about you? What did you do when you were younger that got you in the most trouble?
Well, I think we just talked about it. I mean, the most trouble I've ever been in, I think, was report card gate.
That was just the 9th grade.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Beginning.
things got a little dicey there.
Okay.
There was the time in between colleges when I was living in the garage and paying you rent, and had a hamster down there that would get so cold down there I'd have to put him on the heater every morning to bring him back to
Oh,
life.
stop it.
I'm not kidding. It's a true story.
Well, you want to talk about a patient man left, and so we didn't know you'd flunked out of school. You went to Randolph-Macon to
Right.
play basketball.
Yeah.
A good school. Not the
Very
one for
good
the girls up in Ashland, Virginia.
Yeah, good school.
Okay, and had a good time.
I had a real good time. I had a better time than they wanted me to have.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you worked through the summer, and one day, left Frank, you got in the car with all your stuff for your second year and drove up there.
Yeah.
That took 3 hours. There's your water. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
You drove up there.
Yeah.
And then y'all went to various buildings on the campus.
Correct.
And then in 3 hours, y'all drove back home and said, they laughed when they said, he has a .0 average. He can't get in.
Yeah.
He can't get into school.
Yeah.
Did you think you were going to go up there and talk them into putting them
I
in?
thought I could convince them to give me one more try.
One more
Yeah.
chance.
But
Well, this is a story about Beaver that y'all haven't heard, but we went up for Parents Weekend, the same weekend that we didn't put in no car.
right.
But when we were checking in the hotel, the nice young student behind the counter, everybody was so nice, and she said, "Are you here for Parents Weekend?" And we said, "We sure are." And of course, she said, "Well, I'm a student at Randolph-Macon. What's your son's name or daughter's name?" And we said, "Well, we have a son here, and his name is Beaver." And she said, oh no, are you kidding me?" And I said, "Well, excuse me." Well, I looked at Left Brain, and he looked at me, and she said, "I am so sorry. I just never thought about Beaver having parents."
Yeah.
Well, that's just what every mother and daddy want to hear. So we're doing another one out here. Looking at the clock. All right, here we go. Did you ever want siblings?
Absolutely not. No. No, I liked, like on Christmas Day, I liked walking down those stairs and seeing everything out there and knowing I didn't have to share it with anybody.
It
It was all mine.
all
No,
yours.
I never wanted a brother or sister. No, not at all. No regrets whatsoever. Yeah.
And then there's the
got in
wheel.
trouble,
Don't forget the wheel.
the wheels, yeah, the ship, the ship,
The ship that's going to come in.
When I got in trouble, sometimes I missed having a sibling to take some of the heat off of me.
Yeah,
But that's
well,
about it.
But you had a group of cronies, and they would lie just as well as you did.
We would.
Look me straight in the face
And lie.
and lie.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was one time that you were grounded, and we were playing bridge, and we were at another person's house playing bridge.
Yep.
And you called and said, "Where's that big pan that you cook popcorn in?"
Hmm.
And we told you, and they said, "He's going to pop some corn." A little while you called and said, "I'm looking for such and such." And finally, about the third call, Left Brain said, "He's not at home."
Yeah, and this is pre-cell phone. I'm
That's
calling
right.
their house to
That's
make
right.
sure you're there.
That's right.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
y'all gonna play?
Yeah.
And Jerry said, he's not at home.
He's up to something.
And Jerry, who is a quiet person,
Yeah.
he just said, hey, something's up. And he said, "Well, let's go. Should we go home?" And he said, "I'll be run over there and lock the house."
Hmm.
And when we came home, there's that Britt, Michael, you,
Jim,
all of them,
yeah,
Jim,
Joe.
but Joe Alfonso couldn't lie.
He was the one we could not
Get to lie.
Yeah.
And I would look at him and I'd say, and they said, "No, ma'am, we're here. We lost something." I mean, they were stumbling over their words and everything. And I'm standing there looking at them. They said, "But we haven't been anywhere."
Mhm.
They dropped their car keys. And he said, "We lost the car keys. We were looking for them out in the street." And I
Yeah.
said, "In the street." And I mean, the more they talked, the worse it got.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Joe Alfonso, and he was looking down at his shoes. I said, "Y'all are lying to your teeth."
Yeah.
Okay, you had some siblings. Okay.
Yeah.
They just, all right. This is interesting. Adele Diane.
Okay.
I live in the Beaver state of Oregon. Have you ever visited there? We even have a beaver on our state flag. And yes, I am an Oregon State Beaver fan.
Okay. I have never been to Oregon. Have you've spoken in Oregon, right? Yeah, you've been to everywhere. But I do have, because they're the Beavers, I've got a t-shirt and a hat for Oregon State.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a fan because they're the Beavers. So,
Yeah.
I've always been a kind of a closet fan, but I've never been there. So
I have the world's largest collection of
You do?
rocks, that little, anything that's shaped like from sterling silver to, the Marmont story is a very good
your
story.
Beaver collection would easily fetch $14 a month. And you've got about 200 beavers, isn't that right? I mean,
Maybe 400.
You've got a ton of.
That's
definitely
a
get
bad
$14
habit.
on these.
Bad habit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Tell them about the
Oh, thank you. We put up a new YouTube clip. Patrick and I were sitting here the other day. Have you seen it?
I have.
With the Beaver puppets and I throw my voice. Y'all probably don't know that I throw my voice, but I can throw my voice.
Yeah.
And you don't even see my lips move. Patrick, we were laughing so hard when we did that.
Oh,
and you're in it too at the end. They'll have to figure out where you are. But the name of the clip is we just put it up 2 days ago. It's This Grandma's Got Talent. We might change it to Grandmother's Hidden Talent. But right now, just type in my name and the word talent, and you'll put it's a new clip. And please do share it with everybody that you know. So
somebody just asked, what is Beaver's Christian name? Brother Beaver, right?
Yeah.
Brother Beaver.
Yeah. His brother
Beaver.
Yeah.
His other name on the birth certificate name is Walter Bailey. And I don't know why, we just always called you Beaver.
Yeah.
I know, everybody's called you Beaver. Okay. All right. Margaret Hyson. Tony, isn't Margaret Hyson the lady who sent so many corrections?
She's our editor.
She's going to be named as editor of the book. But those books with the mistakes are now collector's editions. And
That's
the
right.
second edition will be out soon and be corrected. It won't be as much fun. All right, Margaret Hyson says, Jeannie and Left Brain root for Auburn, Duke, and Elon. Who does Beaver root for?
Well, Auburn football, Duke basketball, which is convenient because if you reverse that, it'd be a tough life.
Bruce Pearl is doing very well at Auburn.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
Bruce is doing very well
If
at Auburn.
Bruce stay out of trouble, we're going to.
Oh, stop it. That is not. He's a good person.
I'm
He's
a fan.
Good coach.
All things Elon, sports-wise,
Everything
of course.
for Elon.
And then, pro, I like the Panthers, Carolina Panthers.
Cam
and of
Newton
course,
John.
but that's because Tony and I have our love for Cam Newton. So I'm probably going to have to pull for the Patriots now. So that's not a bad thing. I like the Pittsburgh Pirates in baseball, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Why?
Long story.
Okay.
I'll have to tell you that off air.
I don't. If it's something you can't tell on the air, I don't want to hear it.
Well, where's that?
Wound up in
that
Pittsburgh one
legal
night.
counsel sheet I've got?
I know. What'd you do with your sheet?
And the Carolina Hurricanes in hockey. And, that's about it.
Okay. I think you bet on some of the games.
I do like to place the occasional wager. I do. The legal wager. Though.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't like to do illegal stuff.
No.
As you know.
I know. And he knows right from wrong.
I do.
But I do know that one time you went to Vegas and you got in the car the first time you've gone by yourself, because Left Brain and I took you the first time.
Right.
But this time you got to within sight of the
McCarran Airport.
in Vegas, and you said to the cab driver, "Stop here.
Yeah.
I'm watching your meter, and my money will take me only to here."
Yeah.
And
Now understand, flash backwards. The first day I was there, I had won about $5,000.
Yeah, and then
And then I started taking limos to lunch.
yeah,
And 48 hours later, we had no money. And I was watching the meter nervously on the way back to the plane.
You couldn't tip him.
I couldn't do anything, and he was. I'll never forget it. He said, "You know what? I get about one of y'all a day."
Oh.
And he said, "I'll take you there. Don't sweat it." But yeah, I was already prepared to lug my luggage a mile.
I know.
Well,
you could see
I didn't have a penny.
You could see the airport. All right, here's another question. Oh wait, let's do another book.
Oh, it's
Tony.
book time.
Okay.
It's book time.
Okay, I'm ready.
Razzle dazzle 'em. Wait a minute. Razzle dazzle 'em. It's from Cabaret.
Okay.
Well, I would go razzle dazzle 'em and throw the fire into the air and it would disappear. Razzle dazzle 'em. It was the opening number. I knew I would think about it.
I knew you would.
Can't believe it. So, okay. It's time for me to draw. Are you with me, Tony? All right, I'm going to draw around for another book. I'm getting down all the way down into the bottom of the bucket. Shake it up. And it goes to Flora Ingram Waits. Waits. Flora Ingram waits for no one. No, Flora Ingram Waits. You have won a book. Please get in touch with Tony right away today and give her how to mail it, or it'll be a week.
Good job, Flora.
Go away, Flora. Okay,
There you
here's
go.
a question. We give one away in a minute. You got to be present to win.
That's right.
Okay. Shirley Tingley, Beaver. Do you have funny stories you can share about your parents? Jeannie, how did you and Left Brain keep your family life balanced? Shirley, there's nothing balanced about this family. Never
No.
has been and never will be. It's
No.
just the way we roll.
Yeah.
Should we tell them about the pep rallies?
Well, I was going to tell them that, and then of course there was the time when when NC State won the national championship in '83,
Mm-hmm.
and
Jim Valvano.
you were speaking to the coaches' wives out there,
That's
and
right.
so we were there, and we went, and we were trying to do it on the cheap. I do believe
Left Brain
maybe
was in charge
Jerry
of the
was
hotel.
trying to control our travel expenses, so we stayed at. It wasn't a Super 8, but it was something 8 hotel, and the phone number was 888-8888. And
I called Tony and she said, "What's your phone number?" Because we didn't have a cell phone. And I said, "Well, you're not going to believe
we
it.
are in a dump.
We are in a dump. This is the last time Left Brain gets
He never planned another trip.
I never planned another
No.
trip. And we didn't even have a drawer
No,
or a
it was
closet.
horrible.
I think they just put some hotels up for the tournament.
I think they did.
Jim Valvano, yeah.
But we were glad to have been there for NC State's.
Oh, yeah.
Remarkable win.
Yeah, just happened to be there when they beat the Phi Slamma Jamma. After making
They
all
did.
my Texas people happy, they beat the Phi Slamma Jamma. Probably could have
Houston
paid
couldn't.
them another 30 times and not beaten them.
Oh, definitely,
No.
yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Diana Venable Billings. Okay, question for Beaver. Oh, did your mama or Left Brain tell you about the birds and the bees?
Huh.
Or did you? No, I didn't. I'm assuming somebody talked to you about that.
I had to kind of learn on the fly.
I believe that. Okay, I didn't talk to him about that. I told Jerry to explain that. He's so
That
shy
was
he wouldn't.
maybe the most awkward conversation
Awkward
I've ever had with
conversation.
Jerry.
What is wrong with y'all over there? You're talking and I can't hear.
We have a
We're
good
talking
question.
about we're watching the show.
Oh, it's the new Netflix release.
Interesting question. The Elon Phoenix Club emailed and said, "Would you all tell your favorite Elon basketball memory?"
Oh,
Oh,
You
my
both have
gosh.
history there, a lot of history. Go back to your playing days, or
Oh.
riders, or just watching.
well,
Which story?
the funniest
you gonna tell?
story is
Yeah.
I played with some characters now. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't tell that.
I know I can't tell.
No. Well, it's been a long time. You probably could.
I mean, there's a statute of limitations
I
on
know.
this stuff, isn't there?
You don't. They want a
Anyway,
story
well, we
that
had an
shows
interesting
Elon.
team.
You did have
In the mid '80s, we had a bunch of guys that had gotten in trouble elsewhere, but were good, pretty good players,
And
we
good
were
guys.
good and great
But
guys.
let me
They just-
explain. At that time, Elon was NAIA,
That's
and
right.
you could jump from school to school. And I know
With
Norma
no penalty.
Rose's husband Alan said, "This has got to stop." We would have transfers come in, and there we'd be sitting there in January saying, "There's somebody from Clemson. There's a player from Auburn. One came in. There's one from over here," because you could jump from school to school in the NAIA.
Yeah,
And so we did wind up with a couple of people.
yeah.
You can't tell it.
I can't tell it.
No, I'm not going to tell something that's not
Put your
true.
horn out.
I know.
Yeah, it's a great story, and I'd have to tell you at a bar.
No,
But I
no,
can't
we're
tell
not
you
going
here.
to tell it
Yeah.
and go on record. But I will say that you had some interesting people on the team,
Well,
and they didn't stay long, and they got rid of them here too.
Oh yeah, and we had a great crew. I mean, they're lifelong friends of mine. The guys that I played with at Elon, and then my oldest son Ryder played at Elon. He's got lifelong friends, and Elon's come a long way athletically now. They're D1 in basketball and what is it, FBS in football.
Division I double.
Yeah, so
And there's 17 sports at Elon, and Left Brain loves to go to the campus and go from sport to sport, especially in the spring and summer. He'd go to the track meet, and then we'd hurry to the tennis courts
Baseball.
and see baseball.
great baseball program.
Great program. in baseball. But I'll tell you what, this is not your age, but when your left brain's in my age, to live in a town that has a university that we can go over and see all these games and go to the plays and go everything, just changes your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking if Elon was not here, this whole county wouldn't be as appealing for all the things to do.
Yeah, they bring lots to the table.
We did hate Davidson though, didn't we? When now we don't even get to
Davidson's fans are easily the most obnoxious
No,
people I've ever met in my life.
That's all we need. Well,
easily the most.
no, because it was.
That's not what you said the other day.
No, I did not say that. Davidson had
Steph Curry.
Stephon Curry, who's, player of the year in the NBA and all that. And they
were intolerable.
No, they just always would win. And then they'd start, Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Davidson fans buy books too.
I know.
Yeah.
No, Davidson
we love them.
no longer buy books. They do it. No, they were beating us. We
couldn't beat them. That's why we hated them. I mean,
Well, we had our gym packed.
That's a backhanded compliment.
One time we beat UNCG, University of North Carolina in Greensboro, and in 3 overtimes, and that you couldn't have gotten another person in the gym, and that was wonderful.
I remember
and
that.
then, if you want to, I don't want to upset anybody, but the basketball team went down to South Carolina, and they beat South Carolina twice,
Really?
2 years in a row.
Okay.
And we went over to Elon to welcome the bus back, and we had the coach with us, the coach's wife. We all went, and there was nobody else there. And the police came along the minute we got on campus and parked the car and got out. They came over to get us off campus, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Then we said they just won a big game, and they're on the way back.
And they didn't care.
They did not care because their job was to keep them off. So the Phoenix Club people, we belong to the Phoenix Club at Elon. And that supports all sports. And we are sports people. So, all right. Alethea Ackroyd.
These are some tough names.
I know that you would think people are Beaver's children. Now you're talking about my grandchildren. Beaver, be very careful. Are Beaver's children as adventurous as Beaver?
Yeah, they are. Ryder is a little bit. He stays in his lane a little bit more than Gray, maybe, or let's say Gray tends to have a wider lane.
Oh, that's a way to put it.
Yeah, but no, they're both.
You're good. Let me put it this way. I'm going to just tell you something.
Yeah.
He deserves so much worse.
Yes, I do.
We have 2 good grandsons that are as sweet and kind and nice, and they're just wonderful kids. You deserve to be punished for so much stuff. I know. Yeah. Your mama still loves you.
All
right, read this. Okay, I think we got into this a while ago because I remember somebody saying, who is your favorite country music singer?
Well, Hank Williams Jr., I saw him. I live in Cumming, Georgia, and I actually saw Hank Williams perform, Hank Williams Jr., at Countryland in Cumming years ago.
You weren't in Cumming then.
No, but I was down there working during the summers, and he was drunk and fell off stage. And I knew then that was the man that I wanted to follow. No, I knew he was my man.
No.
So, but no, Hank Williams, and then
I have put up with this.
Everybody else is a distant second.
Okay. All right, here we go. At least you know who Garth Brooks is.
I do know who. Well,
okay. All right, here we go. Karen Clay Sargent. Thank you for the laughs. I just finished your book with tears of laughter on my face. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
My question for Beaver is, well, see, they've always, what is something you've gotten away with that your mom doesn't know about? Well, apparently having 2 stacks of report cards.
Oh, that's the tip of the iceberg. So, I mean, we don't need to go there. I mean,
no, wait.
I mean, you haven't known for this long.
I did not know about that.
Yeah. So let's just stick with that because I don't want to try to get myself in trouble here.
No, don't you have some sort of lawyer wrote you some sort of
paper?
What'd you do with it?
It's
Sherry Harris.
We'll definitely do this. This is.
You should have said it, but first.
I've been instructed by legal counsel to definitely not answer that
Okay,
question.
well, all right. I knew you had a piece of paper like that.
You want to keep that handy?
Yeah.
Okay. Sandra Katz, Kaaz Connor. She has two names at the end. Beaver, what's the most embarrassing thing your mom has done? Now I know what you felt sorry for.
No,
me,
it wasn't anything. It was an embarrassing moment that I felt horrible for you that you could not control, which was the pep rally, the ill-fated pep rally at Auburn that
This
actually
involves Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick.
and it
I
just
was there.
yeah, Patrick was there with his family.
Tony was there.
We were all there, and it was just one of these deals where
It was awful.
it was bad.
You had
so
never
bad.
seen me bomb. That may be the
I
only
had
time.
never seen you bomb, and I mean, I remember a few times, like I told you right before you spoke for my high school graduation, I said, "This one counts."
I know.
You know, but you've always killed it. But on this one, it was the pep rally went long. You were supposed to do something after the pep rally. The pep rally went long.
Well,
People
set
started.
it up.
People started.
Set it up.
All right.
The Auburn, Alabama game.
Yeah, it was before
the
the first.
time
yeah.
the Alabama fans came.
89.
Tony, I was there.
The first Auburn
1989.
Alabama game at Auburn.
They had never come to Auburn to play us, and the state had to pass a law that said you
Right.
have to come because the games were always in Birmingham, and that's like Tuscaloosa suburb.
What? Yeah.
And so we said, well, they should come to Auburn, and they said the stadium's not big enough, so we just kept building the stadium bigger. So this was a big game, and they wanted me to speak at the pep rally, and I said I will for 2 tickets because you couldn't get tickets.
That's right.
And they said, we'll get you 2 tickets to put us in the president's box.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it because the Alabama trustees were in there with the Auburn trustees, and they said, don't show who you're for.
Yeah.
Sit on our hands the whole game. That was
Yeah.
terrible. But the pep rally was a failure.
The pep rally itself was great,
And
but they
then
ran
they left.
along and everybody started leaving.
And I'm standing there and with my family, all my family. What was your estimated crowd there at the end? 30 max?
That might be ambitious.
Ambitious.
I don't know.
But I got to tell you the funniest thing. So I'm up on this huge deck, and there is no one there but my family and a few friends from Auburn, a few people that I'd gone to school with. But it was so bad. I couldn't get a laugh. People are wondering where the people are.
Yeah.
I brought some people to the stage. No, they didn't help.
Nah.
Patrick Henry, his little brother Brett, his mother Marilyn, and his daddy, Robert Henry, who was a professional speaker, a humorist, were sitting on the other side of the baseball stadium, the only people in the stands. And they started doing the wave.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Robert was enjoying watching you bomb.
Robert was having more fun because he was thinking, I'm so glad I'm not the one on that stage.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the wave.
That was a tough one.
But you, about being embarrassed, you hurt for me.
Oh, I hurt for you. No, it wasn't.
I hurt for you at that ball game where you got the ball at half court and dribbled down and tried to dunk it and hit the rim and
that was horrible.
direction.
That was not, yeah.
And everybody was going, you.
Yeah.
I know. I just wanted to cry.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
wanted to go hit him. And I also wanted to hit you. Why'd you miss that shot?
I just got a little too ramped up.
I'm watching the clock. Okay, Nancy Pugh. I want to know if the story about Beaver and his lost car while in college is true. Is that funny story made up, embellished?
Oh, it's true. Yeah. I still don't know where that car is. I mean, I know the state of Virginia ended up impounding that car.
We paid for that car.
Yeah, that was what got me in trouble because they called Jerry and told him he had a bill.
The car was in his name.
Yeah, and
you hear him that he calls him Jerry left brain what? And when the grandchildren were born, Jerry's just so left brain. We said, now is the time, honey, that you decide what the boys will call you.
Yeah.
Like I say, I want you to Nene, I'm Nene, or Nino, or whatever the name is. You got to influence the children early. And so we said, Jerry, we think that the kids ought to call you Budgie.
Yeah.
Because you always want us to be on a budget.
Yeah.
and we never are, but you want the family, all of us, to be on a budget. And Jerry said, let me think about that. And he went away, and he thought for several days. He came back, and he said, don't call me budgie. I don't want them to think that I'm not generous. And he is generous to help people. And then he said, I think they should call me Jerry.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
And that's what everybody calls it. Okay, y'all, it's my time. Do I have time for one more book?
No more books.
All right. Okay, let's go down in here.
You gonna tell them about next week at all? I mean, where we'll be.
Well, we won't be on this porch next week. We will be on a porch at the beach.
A rented porch.
A rented porch
okay.
at the beach. We're not in the Apache campground, where we have our lovely place for the speakers called Dumpity Dump Lane. I love it there. But because I'm not going to the beach for the week, but Patrick's going to the beach for a week. Tony's going to the beach for a week. They put on the shows every week, except one time when Patrick couldn't be here, we got a substitute, Kelly, Freebird wife. Mm-hmm. She's going to the beach because they're taking her children down to the beach. So she's coming for the weekend. So if I want to do a show, I got to go down to the beach. So I'm going down to the beach, and we're going to broadcast with the water behind us. Won't that be fun? Sure. And my Aunt Maud is coming again with the big dog and stay in the house. And Jerry is not going down there, and Alan is not going anywhere. But I got to follow the people who are helping me. Have you seen the snake lately? No, and we put some more ammonia on it out there. Is it 1 o'clock?
Kept the snakes away. Also kept kangaroos.
No kangaroos.
Yeah.
No kangaroos.
It's
Here's one more. Is
this
it one?
Is the prize winner?
One more. Oh no.
Oh no, this is not the prize.
I reached in here. I got to get a prize person. Okay. All right. And the winner is the third trip. Katie, spelled Kayde. Katie Martin. Do you have an apprentice in training? I think she's asking you this.
Oh.
The boys?
Yeah.
No. Don't you mess up my grandson.
No. I mean, the damage is probably already done.
No,
I do not. I don't know. If she's talking to me. No, not
okay.
No.
Katie Martin, did you do this?
No, we can't do that.
That was the book winner, right?
That was the book
Katie
winner.
Martin.
Katie Martin just won yourself a book. Good job, Katie. All right.
Not only that, you went in the collector's item that still has those very few, but found arrows by my people.
That's a special.
Y'all, this has been fun for me. Are people still listening? Mm-hmm. They are, but we got to wrap it up. And Beaver, I love you.
Love
you know
you.
that. No, your mama.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been able to change you, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Enjoyed it.
And you would have come earlier, but as I would say to him, can't you come get you? He said, Mom, I'm working.
Well, that and, they had the state shut down. It's been a weird time.
It's been a weird time.
But I'm glad that I got up here.
Thanks for everybody. Hey, that's it. Goodbye, y'all. Thank you. Okay.